Right, people. um, I just ended a live session not quite long. This same garden. I wanted to see how it looks like doing video here and also doing the live section. Although it's a very quiet place, but there's also movement of vehicles. It's a bit close to the airport. Sure, you will hear that movement of all that as well. All right. Now, going to the reason why I decided to do this video, it's to really talk about this country. First of all, thank you for joining me, guys. Welcome back to my channel, and it's been amazing. We are growing, we are going forward, and thank you, guys. I like in one of my videos, I think I realized something. I did 2 previous videos before a live section, and I really appreciate the fact that I have someone that had been a real core friend, fan, followers. They also brought my attention to what they observed. The background was kind of noisy. The audio was not was not good enough. But I just choose to upload the video by the way. I still decide to upload it that way. But I'm going to see if I will amend, if I'm going to modify that information on one of my live sections. Maybe when I'm going to go live, if it's going to be next week. I should hope I post this video before the time. Then, in the process of discussing admission summary, the general admission requirement, the summarized admission to visa stage to Malta, I would probably touch on that. The information that I release in that video, I'll probably talk about them when I'm doing that live section also. But now today on is, I noticed that I mentioned some things about, there are some few videos I've done in the past, but I didn't mention this particular advantage about this country. Which country am I talking about? It's Belgium. Belgium for sure. There was this time I did a video that was saying 5 countries or countries that has this 95% visa approval rate, and I did mention Belgium. Now, the thing I mentioned about Belgium is that it also has a block account systems. Any countries that do block account or that allow that process, block account, that's one way to increase your visa approval rate. You are somehow guaranteed that that visa is going to put through, which is why I mentioned 95% approval rate. So like Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany. Now for those of us from Nigeria, we know how difficult it has been to get into Germany because of legalization. But now Belgium and Netherlands are cool. Unfortunately, they both share similar style and they both share boundary. So that's why I think their systems are so similar. Meanwhile, in Belgium, you would be doing most of the bachelor program either in Dutch or in French. So they say there's a French part, there's a Dutch part, and so they are more like everything like the Netherlands. So what this means is that Netherlands go with dependents. The process of dependent for Netherlands is that the applicant will go in first. As a student, would go in first. You would go and register and get your temporary resident card. As soon as you have your resident card and a proper accommodation that accommodates family, then you can then put in an application for your dependent or dependents. You understand? So I now realize that I didn't even mention at all. I wasn't too sure that Belgium also has that same style. This is one thing I now realize. In Belgium also, as a student, you can actually go with dependent, and I didn't know this. Like I didn't go too deep into that or mention that. A lot of people would not really be aware. So among the countries that allow dependent, like the Scandinavian, is it what they call Scandinavian? Like the Denmark, the Norway, the Netherlands system, which is you go in first and join them. Italy too has something like that, but I don't like to talk about Italy because it's a bit complicated somehow. Then which other country again? There are very few countries that allow dependent visa. Canada still do on a 2 years master program if you can afford to pay the tuition and to do your proof of work very well. Canada still go on a dependent visa on a 2 years master program. And then Belgium, and I realized Belgium to do. Belgium now is that it is similar to that of the Netherlands, exactly like the Netherlands case. What this means is that a student going to, an applicant or a student or anyone going to study in the Netherlands can actually go with their dependent, but they are not going immediately. So just as I mentioned earlier, like that of the Netherlands, the applicant will go first. On getting there, you will now apply for your resident permit, your resident permit there, because you get a temporary resident card, do your normal health insurance, and since you're going to be coming in with bringing your dependent, you do health insurance for your dependent, and then you make an accommodation arrangement and submit an application for your dependent to join you. The beautiful part about this of the Netherlands, the Belgium, is that Belgium has an affordable tuition fee programs. There are many schools in Belgium are kind of affordable, particularly for masters. Majorities of their programs, you have more of the bachelor done in Dutch or French, sometimes Dutch particularly, and then the masters, majority of the masters are done in English, similar to that of Switzerland that has more of the undergraduates in the language, but they have many openings for English taught programs for masters. You get, this is the same thing about Belgium. Belgium has many English taught programs for masters, and they are kind of affordable. So while I was checking the tuition, I even saw that University of Antwerp, if you check some sites, they will tell you the tuition is about 3,000 euro. They will say it's about 5,008, which is 90 euro per course and plus 400. But there's what they call reduction. That means if you have a good, a very impressive grade, and then probably one or two essay and other stuff, it will reduce the tuition you pay. So that's why most sites will tell you it's about 3,000 watt. There are some schools that are about 1,500 euro to 2,500 euro. So you will see something like that in Belgium. Why am I bringing this? I decided to bring it up as more of a good news information, or like an avenue. What do I mean by that? Because most of the affordable schools you find in the Netherlands are from 9,000 euro upward. 9,000 maybe for some top-up programs, like some 1 year course, and I know of a school that is doing that. That's why I mentioned it. 9,000 to 11,000 euro. I know of a school that offer 11,000 euro for MBA program. But the thing is that the MBA program that I know of 11,000 euro, by then the school will tell you what to add: the health insurance, accommodation arrangement, visa support, everything. You are expected to pay 17,000 thereabout. Add your living expenses to it. That is what you are paying to the school, and then your living expenses, the school said it's about 13,000 something to 14,000. So give or take, you probably will be looking for almost 30,000 euro to run that kind of school, masters. That's in the Netherlands. But this one I'm talking about that is 9,000. When they add up all whatever they add, the accommodation deposit and every other thing, it was almost about 12,000, 11,000 plus, let's say 12,000. And they put that the living expenses, which is your proof of fund, which is going to, that's what I mean by the living expenses, your proof of funds to do your block account. What they state there is about 12,600 or something. So let's say 13,000. That's why at the point there's a video that I mentioned that if you can go as high as 25,000, if you can afford 25,000, you can definitely go to the Netherlands, guarantee 100% visa approval to the Netherlands, because you already paid the school fees for the year, your accommodation arrangement insurance, and your proof of fund of about 13k. That one, it is the school that will just submit an application. Their visas are guaranteed 100%. I can tell you that. But you need this kind of huge money because of the block account. So imagine 13,000 euro for block account, and you're spending almost 12,000 or something. So when you look at it, people will be like, oh, it's a no-go area, but they can go with dependent. Now I now find that this one is a beautiful leverage for it. Belgium. Okay, my friend pointed out my attention to it yesterday and said, why didn't you talk about this? Then I actually felt, oh, really, that's true. when I checked it, I saw that okay, if a school is from 1,500 to 2,000 something for masters, let's even stand on the average. Let's say in the middle you're paying tuition fee of 2,000 to 3,000 euro, and then the beauty is that the block account of Netherlands, the proof of funds, about 12,000 euro living expenses. It means with just 15,000 euro you can guarantee yourself visa approval rate assurance to Belgium rather, and then with just 15k you are sure of getting your visa, because that year really you don't need to start struggling to the proof of fund. Your living expenses is there, you showed it, you open a block account and you pay a normal school fees of maybe 3k. So if you pay, that means you're spending only 3,000 to do masters, which is affordable in Belgium, and the 12,000 your living expenses is your money, you will get it back, and it's even to help you to sustain, depending when you find a job, maybe you have to stay there 6 months and all that, so it helps you to sustain, it helps you to keep yourself going and find out how things work, then you actually get. So with 15,000, now imagine you find a school that is between the range of 1,500 to 2,000. So it simply means with 14,000 euro you are good to go. You have 2,000 for your tuition, and you have 12,000 in living expenses, and you're even sure that your visa approval rate is about 95%, which is you're only spending 14,000 euro to guarantee yourself to travel abroad to Europe, and you still get back your 12,000 euro. Do you understand? You still get back your 12,000 euro. Now let's assume that money is actually job money. Of course, that's what it's meant to be. Now let's say it is actually your phone, which is the 12,000. What it means is that you will not be under any pressure or tense to look for what to do. You can begin to just spend your own 1k for the next 6 months until you understand the system, and then look for something that will sustain you. You see? So it's actually a good thing to consider. So I was looking at it and I feel like, oh, why not? I decided to bring it to your notice. So for those of you that want to go relocate your family on a moderate budget, then please you can consider Belgium. It's a very lovely country in Europe as well. It's part of the Schengen, and they're very close to the Netherlands. So this simply means, navigate both countries and see what you can do. So it's, if you want to consider it, I decided to bring it to your notice. This is the essence of why I'm but I'm going to do other videos, talk about some lovely maybe admission processes and the rest. There's something I also want to discuss for those of my followers that are interested to know more about family unifications to Malta. That will be coming up shortly. Thank you guys for all the support. I would say if you've not subscribed, kindly do so to help promote the movement and support the growth as well. You can send to friend and family, who knows, it probably will be helping someone out. Then until we meet in my next video, let me say a very big thank you guys for how far you guys have brought me and how far we're still going on the channel. I want to say a big thank you, and bye for now.